Hi, I'm Jason Bergquist. I am the proud owner of retirementofyourdreams.com. Today, we're going to go over part 2 of 3 about how to build your money mindset so that you can create the retirement of your dreams. Let's continue to discuss where your focus is at right now and how that could be preventing you from achieving your financial goals. Now, before I continue, if you missed part 1, click the link below and get caught up. Today in part 2, we're going to go over 1, I don't have enough. 2, I will never be able to retire. 3, I can't afford to ... fill in the blank. These are constant commentary that I hear from people all the time. So I want to kind of address these 3 things. But first, if we haven't met, let me take a moment to introduce myself. I'm Jason Bergquist. I got into this business in about 2000 to help people figure out how to live the retirement of their dreams. I've been helping people for about 10 years, and at that time had a financial low in my life because I was going through divorce at that time. And I thought to myself, man, I have been helping and educating and teaching people all of these financial concepts, but I wasn't practicing what I preached. I wasn't doing it. I made a promise to myself right then and there that I would practice what I preached. I would put into force all of the steps in education and things that I have been telling others to do and teaching other people how to do. But it did make me realize that it did get me to a point that helped me understand where maybe you're at or where you've been even better than I could have if I didn't go through that process. Ultimately, I became a financial independent professional and a certified financial fiduciary, meaning that everything I did, I was contracted, obligated to make sure that I was doing what was in the best interest of you and your future. Now, maybe all agents say that, but that's okay. Look into what it means to be a fiduciary. Now, I have a team of experts out there helping me find the right products, the right systems, the right things for you, and my team is here to help you figure out how to create the retirement of your dreams. So today, let's discuss the mindset of these statements. 1, saying things like, I don't have enough. 2, saying things like, I will never be able to retire, blah, blah, blah. 3, I can't afford to, fill in the blank. So why focusing on not having enough is hurting you? This is important because what you focus on is what you get. We've all heard that, right? Well, back to Pam. In Pam's story, she had been focusing on building up that lump sum. She had built up a really good nest egg. She had a good lump sum that was built up. But again, to remind you, she was 55. And she didn't think that she'd be able to retire for at least 5 more years. So we need to focus on eliminating the thoughts of what's lacking in your life and start to shift those to a solutions-based mindset and thinking. Instead of, I don't have enough, I'm never going to be able to retire, we need to start figuring out what those solutions are. What do we need to do to be able to create what we want? And I'm here to help you walk through that process. I've helped enough other clients. I probably know what you're going through. I probably know what you're telling yourself. I probably have a pretty good idea on how and what you have set up so far. So second thing I hear all the time, I'll never be able to retire. I actually ask people when they want to retire or when they think they can retire, not when they want to retire, because most people, when I ask what do they want to retire or when they want to retire, they tell me tomorrow. But then I ask them, when do they think they're going to retire? And often I actually get this answer. I hear this all the time. They say 6 feet under, meaning that they're going to work until they die. There is no actual date or time or age when they actually think they're going to retire. 6 feet under is an answer I get fairly regularly. So this is important because if you believe it, it will come true. In other words, what are you listening to? Who are you talking to? What are your expectations? Back to Pam. So again, Pam was 55 And she thought she would not be able to retire because she did need to turn her 401k funds, her retirement account, into immediate income. Her and her husband had discussed it. They had talked through it and they said, I don't think you can retire and us not have your income. So we need to replace that income if you want to be able to retire. Well, if we were to start pulling funds from her 401k at 55 years old, why do you think she thought that she wasn't able to do it? Well, she had done a little bit of homework. She had actually done some research before we met. And she said to me, Jason, I understand, correct me if I'm wrong, but if I try to pull funds out of my 401k before I'm 59 and a half, not only do I pay taxes, which I know I have to pay taxes no matter what and when I pull funds out of my 401k because I have deferred all of these taxes for my entire life. But I'm also going to get an additional 10% penalty on top of whatever I pull out because I didn't wait until I was 59 and a half. And so I said to her, I said, now that is true. That is a true statement. If you pull funds out of a qualified account that you live on, that are coming to you, that you're going to turn around and spend, that's going to show up to you as income. It's going to be taxed. And because you grabbed funds out of that qualified account, that tax deferred account before you're 59 and a half, they're going to assess a 10% penalty on top of that. Those are all true statements, but is there a way around that? Legally and ethically, and systems have been put into place to be able to avoid that 10% penalty. And I'm not going to spoil it. I'm not going to tell you how this all plays out, but there are legal ways to be able to avoid that 10% penalty. So again, you need to get clear on what retirement looks like for you and your family. What are those expectations? Do you want to retire at 55 years old? Do you not want to have to wait until you're 59 and a half? Do you not want to have to wait until you're 62 and can turn on Social Security because those are the funds that you need access to? We need to focus on what are those guaranteed sources of income that are going to come to you every single month for the rest of your life so that you can have your play days. You do have the funds to go do the things that you want to in your retirement years. Okay, 3. Why the thought I can't afford to, ... fill in the blank, right, is dragging you down. This is important because if we keep saying I can't afford to go on vacation, to travel and see family, upgrade that car, whatever it is that you're telling yourself or your family, again, where is your focus? I don't want to say that what you focus on is what you get. And if you're constantly focused on the lack or things you can't do, then that's where you're going to be. Of course, we can change our outcome. Of course, we can change our future. But by saying those things, sometimes we limit ourselves to really looking into it. So in Pam's scenario, she really wanted to be able to retire right now. So as we talked with her, she started to change her talk. She started to change what she was saying. She started to change her thinking and speaking. Because we asked her so many times, Pam, without thinking about what is or isn't possible, walk through with us. Tell us, what is it that you want? What are you trying to accomplish? If we could take all the money off the table, what would you want? And basically her answer was, I want to retire yesterday. I want to be able to leave my job. Now, am I going to do the right thing and go give my 2 weeks? Yes. But what do I want? I want to never go back to work. We said, okay, great. If that is what you want, then that's what we're going to focus on. That's what we're going to try to accomplish. And then, of course, we dig a little bit deeper. Why do you want to stop working now? What is it you want to be able to do with your time or whatever the case may be if you're not going to work? Because one, she just flat out didn't want to go to her job anymore. She was done. She was tired. She'd done it for 30 years. She didn't want to go back to work. But then we got to open up the conversation a little bit further. I want to be able to travel. Grandkids are just being born. I want to be able to spend time with my kids and my grandkids. I don't want to have to worry about working around my work schedule or taking time off to be at a birth or to be at a birthday party or help out when my kids need help. So she wanted to spend time. So I said, okay, that's our focus. I'm going to go back to the drawing board. I'm going to do everything in my power to help you come up with a plan that allows you to retire right now or as soon as possible. Now, we can't always accomplish everything somebody wants because, again, let's face it, I'm 45 years old right now. And if I'm talking to another 45-year-old and I say, when do you want to retire? And they say, I want to retire tomorrow. And I say, okay, what do you have? What have you saved up? And, the funds just aren't there to turn on an income stream that replaces their current job. So we need to be clear on that. But I went back to the drawing board and I said, okay, what is it that we're going to do to help Pam accomplish her goals? So that's part 2 of part 3. So just to kind of recap, we just went over the mindset of saying to ourselves things like, 1, I don't have enough. I don't have enough for what? 2, I'll never be able to retire. Why? Why do you think that? Why are you telling yourself that? 3, I can't afford to, again, fill in the blank for you. Travel, retire, buy what I want, whatever the case may be. So now that you understand why your money mindset is truly affected by where your focus is right now and how that could be preventing you from achieving your financial goals, I want you to start changing, thinking a little bit differently, working on saying some different words to yourself so that we can talk about what it is you want to accomplish, and then we can create a plan on how to accomplish that. So I want to invite you to request a free Retirement of Your Dreams call. Click the link below, no cost to you, allow us to sit down and start this process with you and maybe help start to change that money mindset. We want to help empower you to create the retirement of your dreams without the stress. We're going to hold your hand through the whole process and help work through each of these things with you. Tune in next week to part 3 of the 3-part series where I continue to discuss your money mindset. In the meantime, discover my blueprint by clicking the link below. Go to my free video and learn about my blueprint to help you set that up. I'm Jason Bergquist, empowering you to create the retirement of your dreams. See you on the next one.